Hello everybody, welcome to VR Master League here in Season 2. We're in Week 4 now. And about to start off with this match here between the Knights of Origin and the Lab Rats. So the Knights of Origin, a team debuting, do believe, just this week for Lab Rats. They've been here throughout the season already. And this time, getting that stream in. We had an almost stream of them, but it was a bit stopped by some delays and issues last time. So good to get the Lab Rats back here on stream and get them featured here for the first time this season among the 160-some teams we have now. Only a very, very small handful left who haven't actually been streamed. We've got about 90%, if not more than that, again, this week. So, coming in with that 4-2 record currently, and for the Knights of Origin, they had the victory there in their debut just a few days ago. As we do perhaps get ready to start here in the first round. Now, just curious, I saw a flash. Okay, good. Nothing funky with the spec end. All right, we're good. So, the Knights of Origin over on the orange side. We got Lab Rats over on blue. And it will be the win and almost in on that first goal attempt. Slapped out into the backboard. Just going to be rebounded here by Cork for the Lab Rats. Hello to the Twitch chat also, by the by. See a lot of people filing in there. Dark Side 1, we got Swagor, we got Fast Furious, Aiden, Admiral Fanta, Lewis Rock, Block Slinging Bricky, who's of course playing right here and just got stunned, so definitely some punch slinging by the Lab Rats there on him. Also see Grumpiest Broom. As the mid lane now, the fights and the clears go through. It's going to bounce off that corner wall, and in come the boost. See QT Slade as well as Vanzi. And here we go. I think that's all the shout-outs. If I missed anyone, my bad. Over here, though, taken on the bottom. Slapped out there by Lab Rats. It's going to float gently into the hands of Aiden VR. And Aiden looking for the clear, but it's just going to be intercepted by Hip Black Poodle. So Cork with a disc from the bottom of the floor. Looking up, but getting stunned out was Poodle. And it'll go into the trench area. No Trennis, though. This is just Echo Arena at the moment. And what we're here for, there's Aiden. Needs to be careful there from behind. Got a couple boosted players coming all along, but just dodging, ducking, and maneuvering. Now over at the Rad logo, going to be taken, slung over on that pass, attempting to maybe reach one of these two teammates, but just kind of floating in between instead. Will still be retained by Minty. And Minty trying to get those first couple points. 2 minutes in and nothing going through on the score sheet yet, as some more stuns do happen to unfold. And do I like tea, ask Admiral. What kind of tea we're talking about? Talking drink tea, talking gossip tea, we're talking iced tea, the wrapper. I mean, there's a lot of different ways we can go with this. As Block Slinging Bricky, well, that's these sticky hands there, grabbing it. Was, I believe, Nemo, and going back into the goal, so Nemo doing a nice job on the defensive end, but it's going to stay on this side of the floor as they do try and recollect. Now there's Ratman. I can only imagine part of the namesake there of their team, the Lab Rats. Coming in and looking for that clear. Now will not get through, so instead going back to the hands of Aiden, and Aiden has Block Slinging Bricky, trying to hit him with a soft pass. Now Block taking it here. And just going to gently move it up the floor. Kind of waiting for his teammates perhaps to join. He has two midfielders, so definitely kind of a numbers advantage going in the way of Lab Rats. And right in the way, it's Hit Black Poodle this time. But look at that, the two midfielders right there with an intercept. And 3 minutes in, still no scoring. There's the stacks coming in. Pretty hot. On the other side of the floor, the bubble there. Another stoppage, but as is just the case with the Lab Rats, I mean, they're playing some good defense, but they're having some struggles actually getting the clear through. So let's see if they get it this time. Nope, it's going to be taken. Good positioning there by Minty. And that's the thing about the midfielding and such, just trying to determine where the best spot is to position out. Usually it's going to be the closest area to where the clear might go, so you can kind of see that midfielder just cutting off that nearest tunnel. Now Aiden there trying to, convert a goal, still couldn't go, but another grab by Block, another block. It's going to be taken now up high, slapped out of there by Cork, floating into the back lane, still remaining scoreless here. Another attempt going to be dove upon by Nemo. Nemo finding it, finding Nemo, and now finally finding a clear, more importantly. However, just going to ricochet right back. It really does not want to be on this side of the floor, that disc. But finally getting knocked loose again. But Minty going to retain and send it off that wedge, where there's a couple players awaiting. So if they get some spacing, they might be able to catch a defense off balance, going for an anchored shot. But the anchor, not sunk. So block slinging. Trying to get that over to the deep end, but Nemo still waiting in that back line. A very, very deep pass attempt, perhaps. Either or, it's going to go clear into the blue bubble, or orange bubble, rather, as Raisin trying to get it clear as well. So 5 minutes, still scoreless. These teams just continuing to contest with some ferocity, as Ratman offers some stuns, but a good leech coming in from Block. Now, Block about to receive this disc and maybe have an opportunity with one duck, with two ducks, and gets the goal right off of Nemo at that. So nearly a save, but not meant to be. On the first 2 points, Block slinging Bricky. 5 minutes in. And getting the highlight play there. See Block slinging Bricky's parent there. Parental unit over in the chat. Watching Block get the first goal. Very nice here. Welcome to the stream, by the by. As it goes across up to the ceiling, just beneath the reach, though, of Hit Black Poodle. Now Poodle trying to corral the disc there. But meanwhile, it's Block with it and going to be punched out, but not before the clear goes out. Now there is a good stack here from the Lab Rats, but they're all three retreating into the bubble, so they'll still have enough time for Black Poodle to get the disc back. And now just trying to let it loose into the other end. So there's a couple players here back for the Knights of Origin. Again, this is their second game of VRML, second match, that is, just debuting this week. Of course, recognize the likes of, well, hold on, Ratman. Oh, but it's going to be snagged, man, by Raisin. Raising the stakes, no doubt. I was going to say, I recognize Aiden and Block slinging from last season. Block had a couple of matches in VRML, at least in Season 1, and Aiden as well was on a team. And but for the rest of these players on both teams, kind of among just that new regime, or that new arrival of several rookies, quest players, and what have you this season, as a good punch coming out from Ratman. Now it's going to be taken back by Cork, but Cork getting stunned. Now stolen back here. Black Poodle looking for a potential goal. Going to be a risky one, though. You want to definitely see some spacing out here from the Lab Rats, if you can, and they're kind of trying to go for that, but the Knights of Origin doing a good job to kind of cover their 1v1 assignments here on defense. Meanwhile, Hit Black Poodle. Oh, it's going to be taken again by Raisin. Definitely just covering that goal very, very well, much like Nemo on the other end. So all the meanwhile, Block Sleg and Bricky, maybe a chance here for the Knights to go ahead by a couple more on this offensive attempt. But once more, the defense doing some good mid lane coverage. There's the punch. And Cork trying for a second one. Now Block going to dodge and maneuver, trying to have a little bit of a dance, and taking the chance. It does pay off for Block slinging Bricky. So there's 4 points for the Knights, who don't say knee, but they will get a 4-point lead. See Detablin in the chat as well, stopping in. And Gunslinger, welcome, welcome. Into the mid lane here. 2 minutes left, and the Lab Rats really needing to score desperately in this situation. And trying to give a soft handoff. Nice pass, but going to be contested quite well. So forcing just the clear towards that bubble, but retained here by the Rat Man. And they're coming back, man. It's a 2-point game. Still some time to get back. If Lab Rats can continue to play some good defense, which they have been, you know, cause another turnover, we could be looking at a chance for them to tie it up. Maybe force an overtime, maybe even take a lead. Who knows? So on this rollout, Raisin, the quick clear, maybe a little bit rushed. Looks like they may not pay for it. It's going to be tough, though. So luckily, at least for the moment, they do retain. There's Aiden with a disc and just a volleyball tap way over, but will be intercepted by Nemo. The deep dive, but the deep pass, the tap, the shots will not be good, though. Now, Block Slinging does have both the scores here for Knights of Origin, unable to get that one going. Minty resetting to the midfield. 1 minute left, and a strong pass was going to bounce off the floor into a big pile, and finding the clear here. So here we go. 2-point game again. If they get a 3-pointer, they can take a lead. Just trying to get the stacks. I do like what I'm seeing from Lab Rats on the stacking end, but another one of those clears again, kind of rushing it that way and into the bubble. Worst case scenario, even if you don't have a pass, oftentimes, unless you know for sure the goal is clear, even just throwing it maybe towards the ceiling, towards the walls. But if you're throwing it directly into this area like they did here again twice now, you see it's very easy for that defense to dive out and just cause a turnover. So for the Lab Rats here, need to be careful, find that spacing. You can see one at Nest, so now would be an appropriate time, for instance, to get one up there, and they do. So nice delivery, but unable to wrangle the catch, and instead getting tangled up there with some stuns. There's another one, and still retaining, but not for too long, so the opportunity may be lost as Aiden needs to get that disc lost into the other side. They should be good for this round. So there it goes, off the top and into the midst of Nemo. Nemo trying for that deep pass over, throwing it to Black Poodle. 7 seconds left. Now they really do need that desperation heave. Let's see. One more fling off the bottom, but will it go? No! Oh, so close. They had a great chance at it, but instead it is the 1-goal advantage, the 2-point advantage here for the Knights of Origin, closing out round 1. A lower scoring, definitely frantic, definitely physical. So as we make our way over to the score screen, take a look at what we've got, and we have, well, the 2 points, actually 4 points for Block Slinging Bricky. He did have one of those goals taken away because it went off the hands or the head of Nemo, I believe it was. So kind of stealing the points in a sense. But yeah, Block does have 4. 1 steal, 14 stuns as well. So big stat line there. Minty with a save and 9 stuns. He had Aiden with 6 stuns. Raisin with a couple saves, a steal as well. Over for the Lab Rats, it was the lone 2 points for Ratman and 20 stuns, leading the way in that department. Hit Black Poodle with a save, 2 steals, 19 stuns. Nemo with 3 saves, and then Cork with 1 assist, save, steal, and then 5 stuns. Anyway, see Nightfire in there now, also mentioning the T. Yes, that's right. Someone asked me the question. I never actually responded, because I was asking which type of tea it was, but then I got distracted by all the gameplay. But if we're talking just TT. I never used to like it. And I mean, it's not my favorite drink of all time, but now I do like it now. Ever since getting into casting and such, it did come in handy having hot drinks, you know, between casts at times. Admittedly, I haven't done it too much this season at all, but definitely in preseason and season 1, tea was kind of my casting drink of choice, to have that with some honey and, you know, just have that between casts. Stay hydrated, stay loose. And right now it's, well, Black Poodle breaking loose for the deuce. It's 2 points for the Lab Rats right off the bat. It's 21 seconds in. Sorry, I meant right off the rat. That's more appropriate.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
But yeah, so good comeback here. Or good, not comeback, good return in the second round, I should say. Just because remember, it took 5 minutes or so in the first round just to get that first score. But right here, just coming back in the second round with 4 in the first minute. So a complete reversal of what we saw just earlier on.
6, 5, 4, 3.
Admiral saying, I like bubble tea and hot tea. Yeah. Love me some boba. It's good stuff. I always go for the taro root flavor. Over here, though, trying to root in a goal, but no, uprooted instead. It's Nemo. Another good save from Nemo. In the midfield, Aiden passing it off here to Minty. Minty looking for a pass just before the stun, perhaps, but going to get back here towards the midst of Aiden. So Aiden trying to find the passing angles. You can see just all the good coverage here. All these players by the bubble. Just really getting contested by the Lab Rats defense. So doing a nice job to collapse and just that pressure. Because here it goes again. And this was the same case in the first round for a lot of the time. There really were a lot of nice defensive maneuvers. It was just the offense that they were struggling on. But so far, they're the only ones with the offense in this round as a pass-off just past the stride of Cork. But here comes Cork flying like a stork, but instead Minty buying the disc back, trying to go for that deep clear, but on the other end there will be that perma goalie, so going to be dangerous slinging it directly down, but it will bounce actually off the sidewall a little bit, and there's Nemo just eyeing that prize, that disc, and making sure the goal is guarded again. The pass up high will not reach Minty, so trying to dive out at it, but unable to collect. All right, so on the clear, 3 minutes in just about. And that's going to go very close to the goal and ding off the post. I'm sure the Knights were holding their breaths on that one.
Orange clears it out.
And yeah, Waffle, Chad already acknowledged it, but yeah, in private matches, the number you see are like jersey numbers, essentially. Or the numbers that appear on their chassis. I think if you're spectating pubs, I believe it just shows levels, but in private matches, so like VRML matches, those are jersey numbers. Now, that said, up here, just getting it is Bricky off the backboard. Bit of a tough angle, couldn't convert on the goal. A lot of stuns going out and being hurled there. All the meanwhile, in the midfield, it's going to be slapped out by Rat. So up high towards that upper trench, being slapped into the bubble. But again, that's, I think, one place where we're seeing some trouble being dealt is when they do get those emergency clears where they just kind of feel forced into getting rid of it. Those are the things where, over time, as teams, you get to learn, when you're about to get the disc, you want your other 3 players positioned somewhere already, and ideally communicating it where they want to go. So, for instance, you see Nemo's about to get the disc. His other 3 teammates, maybe they're going to anchor at Pac-Man. One's going to anchor at Bowtie. One's going to anchor at Diamond. And they're going to call that. So they're going to tell him, you have time or you don't have time. But regardless, if you want to pass, I'll be anchored here. I'll be anchored there. But if you just kind of slap in those emergency throws right into the bubble, it gets really dangerous and easy for the turnovers to occur. So I think, yeah, if the Lab Rats can tighten that up, and granted they are still in the lead, obviously, here in the second round. But if they can just tighten up that offense, I think that's where it's going wrong. Their defense is very good. Their stacks, they're going for the stacks, you can see here, very, very well aware. It's just more so, what are they doing directly after they catch the disc? Where's the next pass going? Those are the things you always want to know. As a team, is once you have the disc, you already know, because someone told you in your comms, where that next pass is going. Now for the Knights of Origin, they're just trying to come back here much the same way the Lab Rats were, where they're just having a hard time scoring. They've been closing off the Lab Rats for the last 4 minutes now on scoring once again, but just the same, they cannot break through this defense. So here it goes to the bottom of the floor. There's Nemo. Nemo looking for that throw into the midfield. Will be intercepted now by Minty, and Minty now splitting off. So Minty, the pass, recognizing Block in the front line. Block going to be charged here by Black Poodle, forcing that pass. And yeah, still going to be scoreless. So right there, we see a similar thing there this time from the Knights side, where they're kind of just forced into these haphazard throws, and they don't know where the next pass is going, and that's one of the things on offense, definitely, that will help just immensely for teams to climb that ladder. If you watch any, especially like Kangarillas, I always go to them as a default because their communication is pretty much as good as you'll ever see in the league, in terms of always knowing, before they even grab a loose disc like this, just knowing immediately where to toss it next. All right, there it goes. That's a great pass. And that is precisely what they wanted and needed. Grabbing it, finding the easy deuce off that assist. So great job by Hip Black Poodle, getting it to Cork. They're up by 6 and still scoreless are the Knights. All right, so Knights of Origin. They still got time, but at this point, they're going to need about a score per minute if they want to catch up. There's a good intercept by Aiden, and he's going to go up high to Block, but Block Slaying couldn't quite get the disc. And that's going to just be bounced right into the midfield where Aiden intercepts it once again. So good job on the disc, but maybe holding on to it a little too long because there's Hit Black Poodle. Now, all the meanwhile, the Knights of Origin are going to retain this disc, going to go over to the midfield, and maybe a self-pass over to Raisin. Why not? Now Nemo will intercept, look for the throw. He's going to be stunned out, and meanwhile floating back into the pocket will be taken by Block. Block maybe has a slight angle, but now being covered by the defense, and there's a lot of different players here, so needs to be careful. Trying to maneuver cleverly around. It's going to be a one-on-one on the goal. Gets it done with some spectacular moves. Block slinging Bricky. Gets the first two finally after about 7 minutes into this second round. That was a lot of clever maneuvering, a lot of juking. So really be forced to work hard for the goal. Yeah, see, Fast Furious in there saying you must always throw with a purpose. That is correct, young Jedi. Indeed. Not only that, but always, for that matter, moving with a purpose. So, for instance, even if you do have control of the disc and you're not contested by the defense, knowing that you should only move up the floor with a purpose as well. So if you got a reset disc over here, and you're a blue team, the moment you leave the anchor with a disc, it should be because you have at least an idea on where the next couple passes are going. Or up here, same thing. You see a lot of the things that teams do that they could fix, not these teams necessarily specifically, but just in general, newer teams, is they'll get the disc around here in the midfield somewhere or at bow tie, but then they'll just kind of leave their anchor with the disc and move it into the bubble, but they don't actually have a plan of what to do. They just kind of, you know, they're hoping something works out, but hoping versus planning is an entirely different thing. So anytime you're floating in, as they are now, looking for their angles, they have some crosses, they have the backboard, couldn't quite find the angle. And we'll be taken back here, Block slinging, looking for a clear, just going to bounce right back into the bottom of the floor. Taken by the pocket, and the defense trying to drop and knock down some of those defenders with another slap, though. Slap clear from Aiden. Not sure if that is with purpose or just with frustration. Didn't really get where they wanted to, so need to be careful here. I mean, with 1 minute left, it's still not impossible to come back, despite the fact that it is lower scoring. They're going to try their hardest, and if they score here, this could be a very, very interesting game. And very interesting last 40 seconds or so. So they do need to act rather quickly, as Block will go for that goal. The tough angle, and going to be rolled right out into the wedge, and that may just close off their chances. They have one more chance here, but they really need to score off this one, and diving out is Nemo, and into the midfield. So one more collection by Aiden, trying to loose that disc. Looking like maybe having some grabbing issues, actually, with that controller going out. I've seen that a couple times from Aiden, actually, this match, with that controller just kind of losing it. Now over here, off that backboard, will not be recovered. 10 seconds, 9 seconds remaining in the second round, and we're going to that third round no matter what here. Maybe one more attempt as Block Sling and Bricky will go for the behind the back fling. Maybe end in a little bit of style, but not meant to be. And round two shall end 6-2, favoring the Lab Rats. Very nice return here to just keep that composure and really open up that round strong with those 2 early goals in the very first minute, in fact. So took them a while to score that second goal, or that third goal later, but didn't really matter. You know, they held the Knights off, and they managed to do a very good job of it to force yet another round 3. Every day now, every match it seems like, getting round 3s throughout the streams this week. Pretty nice. Pardon me, just hydrating. So, to the chat, real quick, goalie would be a great asset. Yeah, so that's also another one of the things in the meta that you see adjust. The higher and higher you go up the ladder is you'll see less perma goalies, and much more kind of variation with midfielding and things like that. Not to say you don't have to have all 4 players on offense necessarily, but it is handy to at least have your goalie and drag them into the midfield, the bow tie area, things like that. Because then that's when it offers you a reset pass in case things get too panicked on the front line and you really just need to back it out and breathe. That's a great benefit of having the midfielder there and making sure you're not just staying too far back where you can't really offer your team any assistance on the front line if they need it. You know, a bailout option, essentially. So Vanzi asking when the comeback is happening. What, for me, for Eclipse? we'll see. Not anytime soon, certainly. I'm not allowed to play. Even if I was, not sure that I would be right now. There's just so much other stuff to handle, and, you know, I enjoy casting just the same. But you never know. I mean, we saw Wit return, obviously, from 11.5, returning into the mix, as getting mixed up with the stuns there, Lab Rats. And the Knights of Origin, however, they do drop a player, so one crash happening here in this first minute. Very unfortunate. Hopefully for them, they won't pay for it, and they can get them back before a score is made. Otherwise, we could be looking at a technical restart soon. Timeout, that is. But we'll see what happens. Hit Black Poodle, trying for a clear. It's going to be a bit rushed and back to the awaiting hands of Ratman here, but back into the hands of Poodle now, or I guess the paws of Poodle? I don't know. Pause on that for a moment. But to the bottom of the floor will be Aiden with the disc. And they're down a player, but they do have the disc advantage. See what they attempt for. And another slap pass. So, again, I'm not sure whether that's a purposeful thing or it could be because of the controller issues I've been seeing from Aiden, where it seems like having kind of trouble actually getting rid of the disc sometimes. So maybe the slap is a necessity. I'm not sure, but I've seen that enough times now this round where it's hard to say. In any case, taken back here is Cork, and just slapping it back. These teams a little bit scrambled at the moment. You just see a lot of clears, and really for the Lab Rats especially, being that they're at such a numbers advantage. I mean, yeah, it would help if they had the midfielder out here to give them that 4-on-3, but even here, 3-on-3, just look for those crosses. So right through and into the midfield now. Minty's saying no crash. Battery issue, perhaps? Either or, it's going to be floating into the bottom of the trench here, taken back by Nemo. And another throw into that midfield. So Cork will take the disc and tossing it back towards the Permagoli area. But although meanwhile, be the boost coming on through. So back to the midfield, or at least trying to get that, actually the bounce coming through. And yeah, I mean, really, for the Lab Rats, this is the kind of thing where if you look back at the footage later, you'll be wishing you could have capitalized more, because down that player, I mean, just bringing up that fourth player, or even the third here. But a lot of these kind of hapless clears are just not buying them the offense that they need, that they want. And a lot of these rush throws coming in, I think that's just, you know, it's going to happen, especially with newer teams and rookie teams and things like that. But definitely tighten up on the communication end of things so they actually know where that disc is going and can take advantage of this number. So right now, the Knights of Origin doing a very good job just holding him off, and that is a good pass. Now, it doesn't result in the goal, but it's still the right move. Good steal swooping in is hit Black Poodle, so Poodle trying to duck. Still going to have defense there, both behind and in front. There's a Raisin. Another stop on the defensive end. Had several saves between Raisin, between Nemo on the other side as well. Some good goalkeeping as, oh no. Block Sling and Bricky getting a little bit steezy, trying to dance and showing some flair to that game and extra pep in the step. So trying to float this in. 1-on-4 and not going to be able to score off of that. So back into the midfield. They even got Minty back. How about that? So, yeah, unfortunate for Lab Rats. They were not able to convert, and I would almost dare say that this is going to be to the advantage of the Knights of Origin, having their full four back. I mean, the fact that you can hold them off for that long, if they just get one maybe cross-pass play in there, they can be really golden. Here it goes. I mean, up top, it was a good look, but unable to make the catch, unfortunately. So another steal, yet another punch, but a good grab. Aiden finding the anchor, and there's the 2 points. Yes, sir. Knights of Origin being down on a 3v4 disadvantage for a couple minutes there. Able to hold them off, able to come back and score. So Ratman going to sling it over to the receiver, just kind of too fast for the catch, and Nemo on the next attempt will find Cork. Cork up there, good passing, there you go, like to see it, there's the goal. So hit Black Poodle converting, and that's kind of what they're like. We're seeing it in spurts. Lab Rats at times, they do make the nice passing plays, like that one was just excellent and got them to score 15 seconds in. But then sometimes it kind of disappears for a while, and you just see these rush clears going through. So it's kind of the rhythms of Echo Arena. Sometimes that's going to happen. But kind of the two different personalities. Whenever Lab Rats have been able to look for those careful passes and works up the floor across all these rounds, that's when they've been able to score. It's just they get in trouble when they don't look for it. So here it goes. They go again. There's the goal again. And the same thing, deja vu, cork to poodle for the 2. So all of a sudden, a personality shift, and maybe my words being heard. I don't know if they have the stream on in the background, but that is those last 2 plays completely opposite of what we saw in those first 5 minutes of round 3. Suddenly, they're looking careful. They're looking collected. They're looking calm. They're looking hot. They've got the shot. They've got the 7-2 lead for the Lab Rats. What's happened all of a sudden? Completely flip-flopping for the Lab Rats. Now their offense can't be stopped. That said, for the Knights of Origin, they're still back up by, with the 4th player. They're only down by 5 points. That is more than enough time to come back here with still 3:50 remaining. So they don't have to worry. They just have to do much the same, I think, of what we're seeing the Lab Rats do now, which is to say, forgetting the one-on-one plays, going for the passing plays. Like right here, this is nice. There you go. The slap. Never mind the fake. Aiden VR. The bait into the volleyball spike, but then just went for the underhanded fling instead. That was nice. Very nice, in fact. But that's what I mean. You see, got the defense off balance. They made the right cross pass, block sling into Aiden, and it resulted in just walking on the goalie. I mean, anytime you can go one-on-one, face up with a goalie without any other defense around, that's perfect. So nice passing and nice moves from Aiden to get that goal. And there you go, 3-point game, a lot of time. Now it's up to the defense here for Knights of Origin. There it is, getting the snag. Now looking for a short-range boost. Really collected looking are the Knights of Origin. Over to the deep end now. The goal was open, but unfortunately not able to get that first grab. A little bit of a misread on the disc, but a good punch. And just the same, punch right back. So there's Poodle again. Now going for a clear into the deep end. Raisin is in the general area trying to wrangle the disc, but was unable to read that trajectory as well. Meanwhile, Block Slang coming in with a little bit of speed. And now trying to dish it off to the bow tie to Aiden. So here we go. Got a chance. They got 2:30 left on the clock here. 3rd round. That first round was 4-2 favoring Knights. Second round was 6-2 favoring Lab Rats. And at the moment, it's going to be grabbed. Oh no! Put in by Cork. And as a result, 7-6. So that was tough. That was a great grab. But then just kind of the maybe misgrab, mishandling, a lot of cluster going on in that situation. Now, fortunately for the Lab Rats, despite that very much not being what they wanted, they're still up by 1 point. So they don't have to worry and they don't have to let that affect them or tilt them in any sense. They just have to, again, be careful with this disc. Don't turn it over. There you go. Good pass. Good pass again. But then the fling. Now, that one is where it went a little bit wrong and a little bit bold. Kind of an unnecessary shot into a goalie, going to be a very easy catch. And now they have to hope that they don't pay for it. But otherwise here, the Block Slang and Bricky needs to be careful himself. Does maneuver, but couldn't convert. Trying to take the lead by 1 point here in the 3rd round. Definitely Block is showing full confidence anytime he goes into the goal. A lot of moves. And despite the end results, I mean, he's really gotten a lot of good opportunities, good looks. Now, I wouldn't recommend playing like that all the time necessarily, but just to Block's credit, he hasn't actually been stopped or grabbed when he's done that most of the time. So definitely very crafty and tough maneuvering. Another attempted slap there by Aiden will just be an intercept by Hit Black Poodle. So disc getting knocked loose, and these are the times now with 50 seconds left where every little mistake for either team could definitely pay a huge for the other. So have to be super, super careful. No doubt the heart's racing for both these teams. I mean, 36 seconds left. 1 goal for either team will secure this at this point. Lab Rats, they can get themselves enough buffer. For Knights of Origin, they can just get a game winner. So we'll see. Can't get the clear here. Rad logo. It's 1 point. But right here with the wrangle, perhaps. Aiden trying to get a tap back into the waiting midst of Raisin. So Raisin getting a clear. Getting it over here to Block Slang and Bricky. There is 1 player in the goal. They have a cross pass option. They have 10 seconds left. Going up for the bounce. Oh, but a little too low. Can't make the catch. Still some time to spare. Need to space out for that anchor. Here goes the shot. Oh, but the rebound taken out here by the Lab Rats. And in the very last seconds. Ooh, the clear, the heave, and relief for the Lab Rats in round 3 as they do take it away by a single solitary point. What a match that turned out to be, and boy, was that dangerous. Again, the adrenaline, I have no doubt, pumping through the veins of all 8 players in this match and 1 caster. So certainly an entertaining game there as we do make our way to the score screen. Ooh, so close though. But for the Knights of Origin, they will take their first loss here in the week and as a team. So they'll finish out 1-1, which I think is as good as you could definitely hope for. Or at least you'll take it, I suppose, is to say. You know, coming in as the new team this week. Definitely a strong showing. They still showed some great moves. And for the Lab Rats, a successful stream debut here. This is their first casted match in 2 tries. Glad we can get them streamed this time and stream what turned out to be yet another really, really close competitive game. That was nicely done. So for the Lab Rats, leading the way was Hip Black Poodle. Suffice to say, on the offense, with 11 points, 1 assist, 2 saves, 4 steals, and 58 stuns. That's a pretty ridiculous stat line coming in. And, oops, accidentally refreshed my stream. Now I can't read whatever the chat wanted me to read. Well, that's regretful. Anyway, Nemo with 6 saves, which was super impressive in its own right. He had Ratman with 2 points, 2 saves, 46 stuns. Again, the stun's kind of ridiculous on Lab Rat's side. Cork with 2 points, 5 assists, 1 save, 2 steals, and 16 stuns. So another full stat line. Very, very nice. Really across the board for Lab Rats. You can see a lot of players contributing on offense. I mean, even if they're not scoring, they're assisting, you know, with Cork and the 5 assists. You have a big save numbers for Nemo. I mean, just a little bit of everything. And then, of course, the stuns. For the side here of the Knights of Origin, it was Aiden with 4, Block Sling and Bricky with 4, a couple of assists and 4 steals, 33 stuns for Bricky as well. Minty with 9 stuns and Raisin with 5 saves, 1 steal and 4 stuns. Also pretty impressive. All right, so with that said, that was a very exciting game to watch. And again, successful stream debut for Lab Rats, and still a successful first week overall from Knights of Origin. 1 victory and 1 very, very close loss. Definitely not anything to hang the head over. Week 2 should be mighty good for them, I think, based off of that. You know, just these close games already. So I'm sure we're going to see more for them next week. Week 5, that is. Yeah. Anyway, until the next stream, let me just take a look at what we've got here coming up. And let's see. So in about 23 minutes from now, it looks like... yeah, 23 minutes from now, we'll have ourselves a match here on Channel 3, actually. No, wait, Channel 2, sorry. It'll be Inevitable versus Evo. My time's all messed up. So that'll be a fun match, too. I believe Evo is and Inevitable, they've not been streamed for a while, hence me taking the stream, you know, get another look at them. Because I saw Evo back in week 1, and I remember they impressed me, for sure. And just by chance, haven't been able to stream them again since then, just because of the way scheduling has kind of played out. So definitely happy to get them back on. For Inevitable, I've not gotten to look at them yet. They've had 1 stream in week 1 as well. It was not done by me, so I'm not sure what to expect. But am hoping for some fun matches there. Meanwhile, over on Channel 1, we'll have Sir Dimwee, So Much for Subtlety, and Sputnik Cobra in about 52 minutes from now. So 6:30 Pacific time, 9:30 Eastern. And they'll be streaming High Voltage versus Hydro. Then half an hour after that, there'll be Turbo versus There Is No Team, which will be another definitely entertaining match to watch. So stay tuned for all those throughout the night. But until then, I've been Palidore. This has been VRML Week 4. And you guys have been a great Twitch chat. So thanks for joining. And we'll see you again very, very soon.